Good morning, everyone. What do you guys think? My oldest granddaughter showed up yesterday with her hair all braided up like this 16 braids. I said, "Oh, Ma," I said, "Did you, Mom, have fun yesterday?" And she said, "No, Grosie. Since I've been sick, I've been sleeping a lot during the day, and I woke up at 1:30 last night and I was bored, and so I started braiding my hair." I said, "You did that all by yourself?" She says, "Yes." Oh, and it looked really nice. And she says, "Would you like me to do your hair like that?" I'm going, "Oh, okay, sure." So in the course of the day, she also braided my younger granddaughter's hair, right? All in braids, and she loved it. And then she's, "Okay, Rosie, are you ready now?" So here is the result. Yes, I've slept on it, so it's a little bit, yeah, I'm going to take it out. She said, "Do you like it, Rosie?" I said, "Yeah, it looks good." So we all have these braids going right now. You can just go with it, right? Yes. Do I go out into public like this? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Uh, the joy that my granddaughter has with that is way more important to me than the opinions of others out there that look at me and go, "What the heck happened to her?" All right. So I like it. Huh? Isn't it cool? Yeah. All right. Uh, power. I thought about power. I read an interesting, some speech of a guy. I always find it, some things I just find questionable when rich people tell you, to stay poor. Or that money isn't everything, or something like that, right? Yes? Really? Well, you're not a very good example of that then. I know that many good people out there who've brought many good things into the world had to get rich and powerful first in order to do that. Yes, that's just how it is. And if they would not have, then they'd be someone like me. I've heard many times, "Oh, you should do this. You should do that. You could really." I'm going, and every time I realize, nope, now I got to pull back because that's not my path in life. That's not what I want to do. I've built up many things where I could have gone way farther with it, but I didn't want to. Once I established something, a good foundation for a good thing, I usually would hand it over to the ones that I felt, "Well, you really want to do this, so go ahead with it. Run with the idea." Right? And I never felt wrong. I never felt slighted. Always felt very good about it. Uh, so power, right? Yes. Hmm. Yeah, I could say more about it. It's a. I guess it's something that one either experiences or not. Right? And I've always found that as long as I went with my heart, right? It's not even just, "Oh yeah, that's a great teaching. I'm going to go with that. Oh, this is a great way to go. Oh yeah, now I need to do that." It's not even that. It's I feel that we're all born with a heart to mind that's original. The origin of good. And it is all within us, and it just, are we willing to explore that avenue rather than so many earthly, worldly things that are supposed to make us happy? Or just asking. But I found in my own life, if I just went with my heart to mind and my conscience, I didn't need to read anything. I didn't need all that, uh, all these epiphanies all the time or whatever. It was already there, and whatever else came along just enhanced what was already there if I made sure I stayed on the right path designed for me by my heavenly parent. And that is that. Um, I'm gonna go with Judith and that one. Before she passed, she handed everything already over, right? And nobody can fight over what you got, right? Or this or that. It's the best thing to go. The best way to go, I believe. Well, anyway, one could say so much more about it. As I said, I find it so interesting. Okay, interesting. Again, people out there give these speeches and you're like, uh huh. Yeah, well, do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. Well, anywho, there is that. The divine principle has a good chapter on that, what the position is of a human being, as a man, as a woman, as a child, as a parent, in a conjugal relationship, right? Marriage, as a wife, as a husband, and it strengthened my belief I've already had naturally about that. Yeah, yes, so there's that. Yeah, gonna keep going with my own speeches. I'm just saying. All right. We are in the book of Esther. My granddaughter is going to come real soon. So we're going to, we're in the book of Esther in 7. It doesn't have an over. That was the Haman at Esther's banquet. We had a little bit there. Okay. Well, what am I going to name it then? Oh, Haman at Esther's banquet. Oh, the other one was the discomfiture of Haman. All right, we're in 7. The king and Haman went to Queen Esther's banquet, and this second day during the banquet, the king again said to Esther, "Tell me your request, Queen Esther. I grant it to you, whatever you want, even if it is half my kingdom. It is yours for the asking." "If I have found favor in your eyes, O king," Queen Esther replied, "and if it please your majesty, grant me my life. That is my request." That's my coffee just turned off. "And the lives of my people. That is what I want. For we have been handed over, my people and I, to destruction, slaughter, and annihilation. Had we merely been sold as slaves and servant girls, I should not have said anything. But in the present case, it will be beyond the persecutor's means to make good the loss that the king is about to sustain." King Ahasuerus interrupted Queen Esther. "Who is this man?" he exclaimed. "Where is the man who has thought of doing such a thing?" Esther replied, "The persecutor, the enemy? Why, this wretch Haman." Haman quacked with terror in the presence of the king and queen. In a rage, the king got up from the banquet and went into the palace garden, while Haman, realizing that the king was determined on his ruin, stayed behind to beg Queen Esther for his life. Now, wait a minute. Wasn't the king okay with that? Didn't he went to the king with that? And the king then gave out a decree. What's going on now? They're pretending like he didn't know, and now he pretends like he didn't know about it. Also, he just finds out now that Esther is a Jew. Okay. Again. All right. Okay. Well, let's just go with the story. What else is new here? When the king came back from the palace garden into the banqueting hall, he found Haman sprawled across the couch where Esther was reclining. Sprawled across the couch? What? The king exclaimed. Is he going to rape the queen in my own palace? The words were scarcely out of his mouth than a veil was thrown over Haman's face. In the royal presence, Harbona, one of the officers, said, There is that 50-cubit gallows, too, which Haman ran up for Mordecai, who spoke up to the king's great advantage. It is already at his house. Hang him on it, said the king. So Haman was hanged on the gallows which he had erected for Mordecai, and the king's wrath subsided. Well, that was the end already. Now, wait a minute. So here appears, so the king went to the garden, statement to beg Queen Esther, and Haman, realizing that the king was determined, begged Queen Esther for his life. But when the king comes back, he found Haman sprawled across the couch where Esther was reclining. How did that go? How's that going to save his life, him doing that? What? Okay, you know what? Whatever. Well, in any case, here he goes. Haman, erected this at the request of his wife, or idea of his wife, to what's it called here? The gallows. And he's hanging from it himself now. Okay. Now power. What does power do to people? How are people using power? How are people using money? Yes. I saw an interesting one where the Olympics are happening again someplace. France, I think, this time. Right? Not sure. And there's a guy carrying a torch, and he's in a suit. He's a paraplegic. And then he is in this suit, right? A robot suit, and he can walk. It's slow, but he can walk, and he looks really happy. And I'm looking at this, and I'm going, yeah. First, how much do these suits cost? How many people will be able to afford that? Yes. And not many, right? Yes, they're going to be for the select few. I'm sure that. Okay, I'm just saying. Who can afford something like that? Really, when it comes down to it. Oh yeah, the rich and powerful. But I thought it was so cool, and I thought, man, get rid of some other stuff that costs all this money and make a bunch of those. And let people who are in a wheelchair, this and that, have access to stuff like that. Huh? Yes? I think it's great. Maybe they could just have a place where you can rent it for a while, I mean, I don't know. How comfortable is it to walk around in a suit like that all day? Right? But maybe there could be a place where paraplegics, people in wheelchairs who can't walk, right? Yes, could rent one for a while to go someplace or this or that, right? I'm just saying, right? For a really reasonable amount. Anyway. And I looked at them going, well, there you go. This is something that I really appreciate science for. Or inventors, right? Yes, good stuff. And then make it available to the public, not necessarily for free. I know things cost money to make, but where there's a reasonable give and take happening with something incredibly built like that for someone that can't walk anymore. And then, I'm sure that they make smaller versions for children or something. Right? Yes, I'm just saying. That's what I would like to see. That's what I would support, per se, if I had more money. My grandson's friend, his name is John. John he says, oh, we were watching Alone, so if you made it to the end of Alone, you got $500,000. Right? So John says, yeah, if they already have, can you imagine? They go home with $500,000. That's $500,000, and you can do all kinds of things with $500,000. And I go, well, actually, not that. It's not that much money anymore these days. And John says, well, maybe they already have a $500,000 at home, so that would make $1,000,000. He says, I would like to have me $1,000,000. Everyone would love to have $1,000,000, right? And I said, that used to be a long time ago. $1,000,000 was a lot of money. It's not that much money anymore now. Now everybody wants to be a billionaire, right? Yes. He says, all right, well then I'm going to be a billionaire. Okay, good luck with that. That's so cute though, with the things that they come up with, and then okay, yeah. I don't know what people do with so much money. Um, if you got it, um, so many things. Again, who needs 10 cars in their garage? Just because you got a lot of money. Just saying, who needs it? I mean, why would you need 10 cars? What for? This makes no sense to me. And in a way, that wealth is displayed, right? Yes, is pretty silly to me. Yes, I'm just saying. I don't have anything against it. People do with their money what they want. But when it comes down to it, on the purpose, on the purpose on why things are being created, for what purpose, and where money is spent for what purpose, I think deserves a little bit of thought, more thought, or as I said, just thought. People are going to do whatever they want, and it seems that respect is given to someone that has money and power. Suddenly, the respect is there. The homage, yes. When I was much, much younger, when I came to this country, I was amazed over the people living on the streets. Young and old, didn't matter. And didn't never seen anything like this in Switzerland. Not where I grew up. And I didn't understand. I was flabbergasted over the amount of people actually sleeping on the street. And so, well, of course, what did I do? I started conversations with people, wanting to know why. And found that even though, we got to get the homeless off the street, this and that, many of them that I talked to, they just wanted to live like that. They did not want to be a part of that oppressive, controlling society anymore. Just didn't want to. They were perfectly happy in the way they lived. On the street, stinky, smelly. None of them seemed to be starving. Yes, there were some. They said, "Hey, do you want to go have lunch with us?" I said, "Where are you going to go and have lunch?" Hear me thinking I'm going to invite them to lunch. Right? Oh, we could go. It's great food. 25 cents. It was 25 quarter for a meal. So I went. It was good. It's good food. And there's all kinds of other things that you just get good at knowing where things are, or where to go in a storm, or okay, just saying. Yes, of course, there were other cases where you could tell he's just been shoveled onto the street because no room in a facility where someone could really properly be being taken care of with the mental capacities that they have. Okay. Teenagers, runaways. They too. Not all of them, but they loved just being runaways, and loved suckers like me who, hey, you got $5? Yes, sure. Anyway, it was an interesting time that I had there. And yes, to the to the detriment of my husband, I would also take them home for a shower and a meal or something. And eventually he said, "You can't do that." I said, "Why not? We didn't have children yet or anything." And he said, I said, "Why can I not do that?" "Because you never know who these people are." I said, "Yeah. Well, who do you, who knows anyone anymore these days, right?" Yes. But nothing ever happened. I did that when we moved here to Kentucky as well. Uh, Again, should a woman pick up a stranger hitchhiking on the side of the road? Well, I did. And early in the morning, I remember coming back from sitting with a dying person and at hospice, and who was it? I sat with so many dying people passing on. Stories are amazing and sad, and some, yeah, you just, yeah. But then there were amazing. I'm going to tell that one. Well, anyway, so on my way back from having sat all night with someone, having to go home, taking care of getting my daughter off to school, and then go to work myself. Yes, I did that. I had a lot of energy. It was all good. And do spiritual work, it's just completely different. That physical exhaustion, this and that is different. It's not the same. You keep on going, then you just sleep really good the next night. um, and I took this guy. I said, "Hey, what do you go? What do you just?" I stopped. I said, "Got him in." I said, "I'm only going to this next exit, but I can. I have to go afterwards there. Then I can put you somewhere better to keep on going." And he's like, "Yeah, that's great." And I said, "Have you had breakfast yet?" "No, no." I said, "Come, I'll take you home to have breakfast." I didn't even ask him if he wanted. I said, "I'm going to take you home to have breakfast." Made breakfast. We had a great talk, and he was just so appreciative, right? Then I took him, and that was it. Never saw him again. Okay, nothing happened. I just did what, yes, my heart to mind told me to do. Oh, so there was this one. I want to tell this story on how even a passing spirit, a transitioning spirit, can already aid you with another transitioning spirit. I was called in to sit with Edna. Edna was her name. I can't remember the other one's name. Edna was the one I came in to sit with, and I said, "We just want you to come and sit with her. She has a church community." She was very old, 89 or something, or was she 90 something? She was very old. And I said, "Oh, okay." And I went in the evening. She had visitors during the day, church community, but there was nobody there at night. And this hospice that we have, yes, in southeastern Kentucky, they're amazing. They're just amazing. They don't want people to be on their own, and they're quite busy even at night. And so I went in. I said, "Yes, sure, I'll come." And I sat with her for a while, and knowing that she had her own church community, and I always get a little bit of info, Oh yeah, she was loved. She volunteered a lot at the churches, and that tells you, oh, okay. So it's not like she needed all that much spiritual guidance from me. Of course, I gave her the blessing. Oh yeah, oh yes. And it was interesting. On after I gave her the blessing, there was an immediate connection somehow. But I also realized that she didn't need me. I got this feeling that, no, I don't need you. I don't need you to be here. And it felt a little odd because with most people that I said, there was a good reason why I was called in. And it was always to calm the dying person down so they could actually pass in peace. All right. Always something there. And with this one, with Edna, it wasn't like that. It was like I didn't feel like the teacher there. I didn't feel like the guide. I felt like she was guiding me. I'm going, what is this? This is weird. This feels odd. But of course, I go with it. I mean, I'm not going to ignore, that she didn't reject me. That was not it. It was, I don't need you here. So then, about that time, it went towards midnight, and the nurses there washed the patients. Yes, at night. They did that every night. Everybody always got a bath. Okay, you know, wash down. And so then I would leave, and I went out front, and I sat on the bench outside, and this guy comes from behind the building where every room had a little patio that you could go around, and he goes to his car, and I watch him, and he rummages around, and he closes the car up again, and he starts walking, and halfway through the parking lot, or where he crosses the road, he looks over and sees me on the bench, and he comes straight for me. I'm going, oh, okay then. And he sits down, and he says, I felt like I needed to come over here and sit with you. I said, oh, okay. He says, are you having someone, are you sitting, who are you here with? I said, I'm a volunteer. He says, oh, yeah. I said, how about you? And he tells me about his wife. His wife was dying. And it's been a long haul. He says, she can't let go. I don't know what it is. I said, oh. We talked for a while, and suddenly he says, would you come and see and sit with her, with me? I said, sure. I said, let me go in and make sure it's okay with everyone else. So I went back in, they were done, and I went back and I asked, because hey, the guy asked me to come and sit with his wife a little bit. Is that all right? I was a volunteer, and so that's rules apply, blah, blah, blah. And they said, yeah, of course. I went back into Edna's room, and I said, is that what you want me to do today? You're going to be supporting me in whatever else is going to happen tonight with this other person. And that's exactly what it felt like. And during the whole time that I talked to the husband and had my time with his wife, which revealed a lot of things. I'm not going to get into that right now. I could feel her in the other room, right next. The room was right next. And that was another thing. That was a pretty big hospice with two different wings. But that room was right next to Edna's. And I could just feel her right there with me, as if she knew she was fine, but there was another person that did need me and the family. When you're called, what I did, it was called an 11th hour volunteer. And when you do that kind of work, when you volunteer like that to sit with people who are on the verge of passing to the spirit world, there is a real rawness to it. The facade of hiding things, emotions especially, or emotions, is falls away. And if one is spiritually tuned, then you will feel that very much. And it doesn't take a whole lot to figure out on why the person has a hard time passing, or why the experiences are just there like that. But it's very raw. And I remember during the training, which everybody had to take, and It was don't get involved, right? It's always like don't get involved, too emotionally too much. I don't know how people do that. And I was really honest. I don't know how to do that. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I can't do that. I said that's my specialty in a way, Yeah, spiritually open and into it, and you get involved, emotionally done. And it never, I guess, because I knew my purpose there as well, right? Heart to mind, and I knew my path. I knew I was there. It never backfired, right, if one wants to call it that. Mm, and every person, every human being, even the tiny little baby that only lived a few days, uh, the, the 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 learning that I got from that was incredible. Uh, and the purpose, my purpose, right? I've had many different purposes here in life already. Right? I'm in another one. I'm in one right now. My purpose as a grandmother, yes, and a mother, yeah, yes, and it's wonderful. You couldn't give me $1 billion to change a thing or to walk away from that. Yes, anything. And I wouldn't want the power either. I don't want to rule people. Uh, I like the lending hand kind of attitude much better than the controlling hand. Yes? Yeah, just saying. So, I started to talk about this because I saw a speech of someone. To say, so people actually realize what this dude is saying, considering. And I just find it funny. There's hardly anything that one can say except for going and go laugh out loud. You know, what is there to say? And why would people go for that? So, yes, I would like for people also, when I do this here, what am I doing it for? The reputation of God. Who dares to take the Bible apart the way I do it? Oh, you're going to be cursed. Oh, you're going to go to hell. Or you're going to. I can just hear people and I'm going, really? Why? Who would be afraid to just acknowledge, hey guys, that's some pretty bad stuff here in the Bible. Why would anybody want to follow that? Or still now, in a way, support that and not say changes are needed. And obviously, when our heavenly parent, God, the Creator, said to Adam and Eve, "You got to leave the Garden of Eden now." Well, but why? Well, because they're not obedient. You tainted yourself. Now you can't stay here anymore. It's not because I don't want you to stay. You can't. The environment that I exist in, that God exists in, is too pure for that. And then what? Then changes have to happen. Right? Yes? The Bible should be all about that. We come across something where your heart to mind goes, that's kind of hypocritical. Does that make sense, really, when it comes down to it? Then one should address, okay, well, there has to be changes have to be made in today's world. Learning from what not to do that was done in the past. Don't you agree? Anyway, so yes, Anyway, yes, I am getting better. My nose is still, it's about time to blow it. But Jill and I had a great time yesterday. So we watched a whole season of Alone. And interestingly enough, because everybody needed to rest again, it's like, and my oldest granddaughter was here. She still has to cast, so it's like uh, and interestingly, after the first episode, here are the boys are like, Gracie, we're gonna build a shelter, and we're gonna need a fireplace, and we're gonna need, so we made a fireplace out of a cardboard box, which then they, uh, and my grandson said, Gracie, we're gonna need a lake, and we're gonna need a lake, and we need a river. I said, what do you need that for? He said, for fishing. I'm going, oh. I said, well, why don't you? It's just a concrete floor out here in the basement just right now. So I said, go get the chalk, just paint it on that. And he said, oh, good idea. So he did. He made the river and the lake, and then he put fish in it. And then my younger granddaughter has a fishing rod, kind of a pretend fishing rod. Oh my gosh, they had so much fun. They worked on that shelter and the whole thing for probably 2 or 3 hours. And then they played in it. While the season alone was playing, they'd come every once in a while and say, what's going on now, Gracie? Who's going to win? And we knew all the guys. It was the first season, so I've already watched that twice. I love that show. And and of course, yeah, Alan and Sam were our favorite ones. Yep, I'm just saying. And they loved the young guy, and Sam. They just loved him. They thought, he's so young, and he's doing this. And then towards the end, they're going, oh, Grozy, is Sam sick? And I said, why do you think that? He says, he looks so skinny now. I said, he's lost a lot of weight, but he'll be all right. Yeah. Anyway, it was just interesting through the whole thing and how they were inspired by, I said, one episode, and they were at it. And to building their own shelter and getting into survival mode, So cute. I love shows like that where they're inspired to do something and do it. Right? Yes? Yeah, love that. So now they want to watch everything about Alaska. Anyway, we'll see. I love it. I'll take documentaries and things like that anytime over some of that fictional stuff that's out there now, and it's not interesting. This stuff is. Yep. And everybody rested enough. Yes, I feel good. Much better. And over the weekend, yeah, okay. So that's all I have to share today. Just talking, sharing. Yes. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you and embrace you with love. So much better than money and power anyway. Right? Yes? Find happiness with what you got. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow.